I think if you were to ever call yourself a Democrat, you would lose the whole like splendor of you being the one good Republican. But even though the party has totally abandoned you, even though the Republican Party has changed significantly, for you to say I am a Democrat now, even though ideologically it's a big tent and there's plenty of room for you in it, it would jeopardize your status as the one good Republican. Thoughts?
Okay. Sure. And this is a optical argument that Fabian Liberty and Rob Knorr and Admiral
I don't know about them.
Gibbs,
Have they said this?
and yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Rob Knorr, Admiral Gibbs, and who else? There was somebody else who was like, this is purely optics. Your function, and sorry, I'm doing a little bit of workout while we're talking. They're like, oh, this is all functionally optics. You vote Democrat. Just admit you're a fucking Democrat. Fuck off. You're a Democrat. Blah, 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 blah. But I don't want to become you. I want you to become me. And I don't want the Democratic Party to, like, I don't want to bend to the Democratic Party's will. I want Democrats to be more like me. And if there's Republicans who are similar to me, who feel similarly abandoned, that every single principle that we were raised with has been fleeced and destroyed and murdered in public, and 70% of the Republican base fucking laughs at it.
Okay, name one distinctive policy difference that you truly care about that is a major difference between Democrats and Republicans. Because I'm pretty sure, like, Connor is like, he's pro-choice. He probably believes in like funding the police. I like what policies does he actually believe that are different? I don't think it's based off of policies. It has to be based off of vibes. Like, oh, I want the Democrats to be anti-degeneracy, but that's just vibes. That's not like actual straightforward policy. Like, none of this is straightforward policy. He's not. Yeah. I'm not really getting any policy difference vibes from this guy. Guns, I think? He probably is more hawkish, I would guess. Okay.
They enjoy it. They think it's funny.
Go back to Darius. Why? Okay, if you're baiting, I'm banning you, okay?
That the Republican Party has abandoned every single principle that it ever allegedly stood for. I would rather those people say, fuck you. I'm not a liberal. I'm not, well, maybe they're like liberal philosophically, but I'm not a fucking.
Yeah. They just need to make sure I was where I was.
What? Dude, okay. Alright, that's just
Democrat.
Okay.
But.
Alright, where are you?
MAGA.
I'm gonna ban you now.
Fuck them for skinning and destroying everything that we ever fucking
So do you
stood
still
for.
call yourself a Republican? So put aside the Democrat label, or do you call yourself independent? I don't think you can call yourself a Republican.
I would probably, if like, see, we're talking about two different things.
Okay.
This is why you're so slippery.
I'm saying
this
party
is why you're such a good
affiliation.
debater.
It's not slippery at all. I'm asking your party affiliation.
You're such a good debater. No. I almost guarantee you, we had a similar conversation about a different topic where we talked about electoral versus ideology. This was in reference to the Vanguard boys, by the way. Okay? Because I made the concession that electorally, the Vanguard boys are close.
He calls himself a never Trump Republican. Yeah, never Trump Republicans don't exist. We call them liberals. Okay? Never Trump Republicans are liberals. All right?
To you and Josiah than Rob Knorr, right?
Right.
Electorally. However, ideologically, Rob Knorr still believes in a republic. He's not a revolutionary. He's not a socialist. He's not a communist. He doesn't want to destroy the fucking country. And so as a result, ideologically, Rob Knorr is more proximate to you than the Vanguard boys are. And this is the exact fucking same thing. You're saying electorally you're a Democrat, so just be a fucking Democrat. But I'm saying ideologically I'm fucking not. There are 10 things from Sunday that I will fight you on because
Are
I
you a
think
registered Republican?
Shit.
Are you a registered
What?
Republican?
Yeah.
And would you consider yourself?
I was going to vote for Nikki. I was going to vote for Nikki Haley in the primary, but she dropped out by the time that the primaries happened.
And now you see, I think you probably still would vote for some of these Republicans who are paying lip service to Trump, even though they might, behind the scenes be disgusted with him. So I think if Kristen Sununu came out, I think if Marco Rubio came out, I think if...
But that's a dumb take. Listen, okay, it's probably a dumb take.
Ron DeSantis came out, you'd still vote for them, notwithstanding their complicity on MAGA.
Well, so this is actually like a super interesting question that my conservatarians in my audience who may or may not have voted for Trump, they've burned me a few times on this, held my feet to the fire. They're like, what if JD Vance becomes your ideal Republican, right? Like what if like Trump dies, okay? He has a heart attack and he's got like this perfect, nuanced, neoconservative gun, like perfect down the line on gun control, on abortion, on the economy. He's just like the perfect candidate for you.
I mean, but you're defining him as the perfect candidate. Why would you not vote for the perfect candidate? The way you're defining him is implicit already within the question, right? You're saying, oh, this person is awesome. Would you vote for an awesome person? Yeah, I guess I would vote for an awesome person.
Are you voting for JD Vance? And the truth is, I don't have an answer for that because JD Vance is complicit in killing 14 million fucking people through incompetence. So do you forgive somebody who becomes your perfect political candidate after they killed
in a heartbeat? What? Yeah, I vote based on pragmatism.
14 million people through.
I mean, another question is like, oh, what if Hitler became your perfect liberal president? What if Hitler became like Biden, but he had the history of like the Jews being killed behind him? It's like, well, yeah, I hope that he faces justice, but you know what? I'm voting based off of pragmatic policy, like Jesus.
Stupidity.
But if they're willing to abide like what's going on with MAGA right now, I don't know why you wouldn't say something like, you've changed things forever. There's no going back. Like
they might have. There might be no going back. I have no idea.
So if there's, they
might have destroyed the Republican Party. They might have.
Has Connor mentioned in a debate yet? I'm sure it's coming up. Okay.
Gutted it and made it unviable.
Loading.
Well, that's what I mean. So like, what use is it registering as a Republican if you're never going to get, at least in the next 10, 20 years, a full-on repudiation of Trump in a candidate, right? Like,
okay, you've asked me the same question 4 times, trying to bully me into changing my mind. So I have to pull up a drawing for you.
No.
And I'm gonna read a super chat because I love my chat. Quick shill to my chat. Like the stream, share it with your friends, engage in chat, super chats if you got them, memberships if you got them. Grassroots for $20. That Mickey Avalon song.
I mean, like, yeah, Connor has dyed his hair. He's pretty much halfway there. Right?
Avalon song is only.
Who the fuck is spamming hearts as live reactions? Jesus, I love you, okay? I love you too.
Rivaled by the Bam Margera song he played live called Bend My Dick. Yes, Bam Margera has a band. It's called F Face Unstoppable, and he signed my hoodie against my will. Nice. We were talking about the Mickey Avalon song titled My Dick, which is
the only Avalon I know is Hunter.
Well, that's actually what spawned the conversation.
Oh.
So, all right, let me...
What is he talking about right now?
Let me pull up.
So confused.
Because you asked me 4 times, okay? So let's go ahead and pull up my drawings, okay? I have many drawings. I'm becoming a political artist as well as an autist.
Mm-hmm.
So this is shared with you, okay? So this is what the Republican Party was 10 years ago. So fiscal conservatism is reduction in federal spending, balancing the budget so we don't collapse.
You don't need a drawing. It's fine. You don't need
the fiscal perspective of the United States. I think that debt isn't going to kill us. We have like a debt to GDP ratio of 125% or whatever, but I still think that there's plenty of fat to cut, and we should absolutely redirect the way that we're spending our money. 100%. When it comes to social, pro-life, unlike a abortion centrist, pro-nuclear family, 100%, pro-achievements in academics and industry, 100%, sometimes anti-gay, anti-choice for abortion or whatever. I don't really fuck with that, but I'm obviously like a sex-negative, anti-promiscuity, pro-natalist person.
Well, now
Me too. I'm a sex negative. I'm a sex negative, anti promiscuity, natalist person. Cool, Connor. We agree. Awesome. Beef over? Question mark.
that you have
Okay.
a red beard, aren't you pro-gay?
Is red beard a gay thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's like
Everybody keeps saying it's red wings. It's when you
it's like when you have your earring on the gay ear. You know, you can't have it on the gay ear.
no, it's well, okay. I have to defend the honor of heterosexuals.
Mhm.
They're saying it's like when you give
All right. If you say react harder again, I'm timing you out. Jesus.
love to
Oh,
a woman with your
stop.
mouth.
Let me react
but
at my own
they're,
pace. Jesus.
having their time of their month.
So you're saying
They're red
that
wings.
you're okay. That's what.
So this is proud heterosexuality.
I'm sorry, I'm not
Okay.
Darius.
All
Okay.
right. Then, when it comes to neoconservatism or Burkean conservatism, the new left went too far in the 60s through the 80s. They were a bunch of dirty socialist, communist, hippie fucks, and they needed to be fought tooth and nail. Pro-democracy and republic, and they were militarist, meaning that they were perfectly okay with military intervention and foreign intervention in order to stop the threats of communism. I agree with like 80% of this shit. So please tell me that this is what the Republican Party was 10 years ago. Please tell me where
This guy's actually talking about his beard being covered in period blood. Oh my god.
I've betrayed my principles.
I'm not saying you betrayed your principles. I'm saying the party abandoned you, and this feels like all the lefties being like, no. This is a
Okay, so tell me where the
Luxembourgist,
Democrats
Trotskyist,
line up with
leftist. Well, I think that they include people who are. You're a fusion Republican. What are you? That sounds pretty gay.
I mean, yeah, like fusion or Burkean conservative or neoconservative, yeah.
Okay, so Biden reduced federal the federal deficit
Yeah,
under his term.
that chafes my ass. It chafes my ass so hard that the only people who have been fiscally responsible are fucking Democrats. It chafes my ass so fucking hard. Anyways, sorry, continue.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that there's nothing incompatible about your beliefs with the Democratic Party as such as a coalition, and you're better aligned in terms of your foundational beliefs in like being pro-America, being
Why? Because I believe in a
pro-Constitution.
republic?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that it would be like saying, yeah,
Yeah, the Democrats also believe in a republic, no?
well, the Republican Party used
Yeah,
to
but,
mean.
but you know how much of a cruel irony it is to have the Republican Party no longer believe in republicanism? Do you know how much that hurts?
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know.
imagine if the Democratic Party became a fascist party.
Yeah, I wouldn't be part of that party anymore.
Well, right, but
That was the party before the switch.
I'm no longer part of the fucking party, but I still identify with the philosophy of republicanism
But you are a registered Republican. You call yourself a Republican.
because I wanted to. Because specifically with the primaries, I was hoping. Because if you look at 2016, okay, if you look at the 2016 elections, Trump got around 35% of the vote in the primary. Okay, but what happened is all the
Let me argue with you. Over what? Over fucking what?
moderates stayed in the party and split the moderate vote. So Trump ended up being the nominee. If Marco Rubio had dropped out and endorsed, I don't know, what was it, like Kasich or fucking Christie or whoever the fuck was.
What?
Why do you gotta sound so upset about it? Give me a moment.
Upset about what?
Yeah, when anyone joins here, it's just like,
God,
what
you
is
sound
this?
so effeminate.
I do not.
Okay. All right.
Anyways.
What's up? What's up?
So Counterpoints is making a really good point. We shouldn't just cede the ground of what the Republican Party was to MAGA at all. It should be very clear that there's a disparity between like a moderate Republican of the past and the modern shit that's just like insane Trump conservative cult shit. Like we shouldn't give up the title. It shouldn't just belong to them.
Okay,
because
I
they're not
don't
representing them.
really disagree all that much strongly. Like I could be swayed one way or another, to be honest.
Okay, well that's what Pisco is really arguing for here. He's saying you should just abandon the moniker of being like.
Well, but the problem is that like maybe like you can make a political efficacy argument and say like, yeah, Connor shouldn't abandon the label because he is a definition of like the old guard Republican, and we need old guard Republicans to still be around to remind the Republican Party at the moment to go back to it after Trump is done, right? But however, what Pisco is saying is probably like, okay, but technically you're not, right? Technically you're not like an old guard Republican.
Well, no, he is. Like his values are definitely that, and also like
What
it's a
policy?
little more.
Like
It's not
what
just
policy
political.
it lines up with old guard
He just read them
republicanism?
off. He's very hawkish. He's very
No, that means
socially
nothing. What
conservative.
policy? Like, is he okay? So is he pro life?
Well, he doesn't have to be. That's one
Does
of
he
the
want to
only things that he's more
increase
liberal
police
on.
presence in black neighborhoods specifically?
Well, Democrats want to do that too. First of all, they want community police. Believe it or not, moderates tend to agree on a lot of things. But the important part is that when you're talking about like really parties, because the way that people split up along these lines, well, the average American doesn't consider like all of the I like this policy and I like that one, so I'm gonna do the math and split it up. No, they just vote on vibes, right? So that's the whole point of holding on to these monikers. It is a team sport, at the end of the day.
I mean, maybe. I mean, the thing is that like, sure, most Americans vote based off of these vibes, but we're not just most Americans, right? This is the online political space where these people are essentially just like they're supposed to be more well researched, they're supposed to be more principled, they're supposed to research the policies, right? They're supposed to have policy
No, but
differences or something.
that's
Yeah.
actually all the more reason why it's important that he holds on to his label, right? Because imagine you're well, imagine being someone just coming out of high school. You're a guy, you're like a white dude, you come from a very conservative family, but the stuff you were told about with Reagan and shit does not line up with Trump, and you feel like you have nowhere to go. You're going on Twitch, you're fucking around, you see a political thing, you love debating in class and shit or whatever. Um, and you go and you click on this guy's stream because he's a conservative. He starts saying stuff you really agree with. He moves you to more moderate positions away from MAGA stuff and helps you feel like you have a community. Instead of just seeing another now red-bearded liberal arguing and screaming online about Trump, and it's like, oh, well, they're unreasonable too, right?
How does a red-bearded Republican convince them? He has a
Well,
red beard. Look
he
at
is a
him.
Republican though. I know, but he was a cop. Like Counterpoint, like he's soy, but he is like a bog standard. He got a lot. He's a very stereotypical person. Okay, ex-cop, collects Warhammer, has a family, doesn't hate
That's
gay
fine.
people, but is kind of grossed out by them.
You
Like
can I
he's
just
just
don't I'm just not convinced like this is the biggest issue. Like can't I just make the opposite argument and say like isn't it just better for Connor to join the liberals because it's more true in value with what he believes in? And then just be like, yeah, you know what? I think the liberals need to be stronger. It's better if everyone is teaming up
well,
together against the Republicans, right now.
there's we're talking about two different things when we're talking about joining the liberals. He did join the liberals. He joined the liberals the same way that what's her name? Fucking uh uh Liz Cheney joined the liberals. She's not a Democrat. She's not like in our party, but this is the whole point of like coalition building is they're people you disagree with even on party lines and stuff like that. That's how bad MAGA is. That's the whole point. It's not just we're all liberals and we all hate Trump. It's even conservatives, normal moderate conservatives hate Trump because what he does to our country is inherently un-American.
Yeah, but where exactly are these like moderate Republicans anymore? I feel like they're just
Right here. There's one talking on stream right now, and I
yeah,
know
but who
plenty of people who
else?
talk just like him. Well, I mean, I'm not. Do you want me to go call some people? I'll phone a friend and I'll come back. But like, there's
Like
plenty of
yeah,
people who
yeah,
are
but I
like
guess what
this.
I'm saying is that I don't really see this massive group of like never Trump Republicans going
I know,
around and fighting hard on the front lines, right? Because the people we
but they
see fighting
exist
because
in the
even
margins.
they exist in fucking the shadows, right? Like because the thing is what I see is pro-Palestinian progressives have more of a presence than never Trump Republicans. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that. I think never
Okay.
Trump
All
Republicans are
right.
way more relevant, and I think that you're no offense, but I think
Where
that
just I don't see them like fucking protesting at Trump rallies. Like where are
they
all the
show up to
fucking
town
never
hall.
Trumpers showing up?
Here, it's
Yeah,
because
okay.
I think you're just outside of the circles of it. But like, there's people at town halls who are shouting down their local representatives, being like, "Why the fuck are you still pro-Trump? I just got my Medicaid cut." There's a lot of
Okay,
never
fine,
Trump
but are they like
Republicans.
teaming up together into one like fucking unified front?
Well,
Are
if you
they?
want, like,
Oh.
I mean, I'm assuming that if you go to Counterpoints' chat, I'm sure you can find some there. But obviously, like I'm not saying like he's the front line or anything, but I think on principle, like he should stand by the party that he comes from, even if he's not like I'm guessing that like people on Twitch who are Republican are pretty niche, especially Twitch politics are pretty niche nowadays.
But now,
Moderate
but the
Republicans, I mean.
problem is that
But
like you have someone who identifies as a Republican, but then every single like specific thing he believes is pretty much liberal, right? He's like a
I
like
don't agree.
if you have to force it, it's like a right leaning liberal, right? You don't
No,
agree?
I don't agree. No, I don't.
Okay. All right. What part of this don't you agree with? I guess.
Well, he just listed off a bunch of values. I mean, it's funny because you
These
just said
values don't
I'm very
matter.
no
Yeah.
sex
Because these
sex
values are
negative.
also
Well, what
within
is a
like
Democrat to you?
you want to do interventionalism, you're pro-choice, you're capitalism with some restrictions, less free market. You are generally more cognizant of like class rights, right? And your policies line up more in terms of like infrastructure bill, child tax credit, social welfare, UBI sometimes for the most progressive.
Okay, so
Yeah, that kind of stuff, right? Yeah.
back in the day,
Does Connor disagree with all these?
interventionalism.
Like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
No,
It's just
No, back in the day, interventionalism was seen as a very Republican point of view, and the fact that that's being let to be taken by MAGA to say like Republicans never believed in that. Like, there's a lot of erasure of history and shit like that. There's just because he's working with Democrats doesn't mean he has to call himself a Democrat, and there's value in him not calling himself a Democrat.
you know
Abraham
what
Lincoln's
what's the greatest
running mate,
value?
Andrew.
You know what's the greatest
What?
value? And I don't know if we would like. Okay, why I left the right. Counterpoints, the story. Don't you think that that is
I
a much more better
don't
story
agree.
and much more effective overall? Why
No, I
left
don't.
the right?
Because he
Okay.
still is he's still like
Okay,
moderately
well, I
Republican.
actually have a solid example that counters you directly. So Rashad Crenshaw is a political commentator who has essentially now gotten famous off of being a why left the right, a why left MAGA, why left being a Republican. So now he's like a more centrist liberal, neoliberal type, right? And he has essentially gotten more than 50,000 subscribers onto his channel, and that was his blow up video that essentially shot him into stardom. So like, why shouldn't Connor do something like that? Because Connor is stuck at whoever the audience, still trying to get
No, I'm
off
sure
of
he
Steven's
could.
benefit, I
I'm sure
guess, a little bit. But like the thing is that like it just
because
doesn't
I
seem
don't.
like it's not that beneficial. It
Sorry.
just isn't. Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, if we're talking about for political efficacy, but like I think what Counterpoints wants to do is have a community where like moderate Republicans just can hang out, and not be crazy. They don't have to, they can be a little icky about gay people. They can do their Warhammer drawing up, because I feel like every single person I know who does that is like some white conservative dude, or a trans person. But like, they can have their little circle. I like that they have their little circle where they can be moderate and still believe in American values, but also still have some socially conservative views. And because if they didn't do that, well, uh, you either slingshot towards some crazy Republican views if you start trying to moderate on that and act like you're liberal, or did the thing I just say make sense to you, by the way? I can give
Look,
an
listen, I'm
example.
not opposed to him having his own little like Republican circle. That's fine. But he can be a liberal and still have his own Republican circle. Like, I just don't think like just taking off the label would like dissuade people from hanging out with him, right?
I don't think I would like call him like he's liberal, yes, as in like the liberal sense in how Europeans use the word, but he's not liberal like part of the Democratic Party. This guy is not going to go out there like fighting for like LGBT rights or progressive issues and stuff. And that's okay, because he still respects the Constitution. That's the sad thing is, I think what we've done is we've let MAGA redraw the lines on what is Democrat and what is Republican. Now, Democrats fight for keeping the Constitution and following the Constitution, and Republicans get to just do whatever the fuck they want. Like that's sad. No, that should be a fundamental
Okay,
thing of
I
being
mean, like
American.
ultimately, this entire thing is based off of vibes. I think I think for me, I at least gave a solid example of like, oh well, we have Rashad Crenshaw who has like had a really positive voice for the, online space or whatever. Meanwhile, I guess Connor can huddle with his like fucking 50 Republicans. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I didn't need to give an example. We can look at the.
Okay, I mean, ultimately, this is just kind of a vibes argument. So I don't really care. Yeah, well, like, I don't feel strongly about it either way. Like, if he wants to define himself as a Republican, that's fine. Okay, that's his own, decision to do so. Okay, but if we're talking about like political efficacy or like the way that you present yourself, like, I just don't think that Connor is a Republican. That's it. But yeah,
you don't have to. Yeah, you can feel that way. I would very much so disagree. I just think it's bad what Pisco's doing here, where he's trying to pressure him to not identify as it, because it is good to have people saying like, hey, you don't have to be, you can be a Republican and not be fucking insane. Like, that's actually, I think that's a good thing for our country.
Okay, all right, cool. Is there anything else?
Nah, yeah, I can hop off now.
Okay, all right, thanks for coming on. Okay, I appreciate you. Okay, I love you. Okay,
happy to.
Bye.
See you. Love you. Bye.
Okay, cool. Oh, nice.
In, right? If all the moderates, if they'd done what Biden did to Bernie Sanders, if they had done to Trump what they did to
Lincoln Project, Lincoln Project? Are they legit? I'm not sure if the Lincoln Project is that legit. Fuck. What did they do? Whatever.
Bernie Sanders, they would have saved the fucking Republic. But they chose not to. And as a result, the fucking Republican Party has been flayed and destroyed.
Yeah, so it's time to leave it. It's time to stop calling yourself a Republican.
Sure, and electorally, I'll fucking leave it, but I'm never a...
Look, I'm sure all Carrier's arguments will be brought up by counterpoints against Pisco. We'll see how Pisco responds, okay?
Abandoning the principles or ideology that I was raised with.
Which means
that
I'm not saying that you should, but you're going to keep calling yourself a Republican because I think that there is something nostalgic about that.
If there's a Republican who believes in republicanism, then I'm going to vote for the Republican. Let's say that we have Zoran Mamdani, and let's say we have a guy like me without JD Vance's or Trump's baggage.
You see, a guy like me,
Republican.
A freak. Sorry.
What's that?
That's never mind. Keep going.
Okay.
Mamdani versus a guy like you.
Let's say that you have Nikki Haley without the internet censorship, okay? And maybe a better understanding of where we are currently economically, right? Nikki Haley without the internet censorship plus like a decent understanding of redistributive economics.
You're voting
I'm voting for Nikki Haley over Zoran Mamdani every time, 100 times out of 100.
Even though Haley is a Trump supporter?
But hey, I've been, not that I hope she fucking sees my tweets and she cries. Every time she bitches about the Trump admin, I'm like, you're the one who endorsed this, you dumb bitch.
Yeah, she endorsed Trump. And that for you is not disqualifying?
Yeah, but that's why I think I have the caveat of without all the baggage.
Okay, so a new Nikki Haley that just emerged on the scene and...
Okay, so someone who's not Nikki Haley, right? So someone who's not Nikki Haley.
Okay, you're saying like that, like it's...
Like him, sorry, bye.
It's impossible, but Maxwell Frost is close to me in district, and Maxwell Frost is like 20.
Piss is a better political commentator than Tiny, by the way. Remember? What is he? I don't know if that's true.
25. You're saying we can't find like a 26-year-old congressman?
The new Republican youth are Nazis.
I know. It's so fucking bad.
So I'm just like not very sanguine about the opportunities of some like Burkean conservative emerging from that.
God wants me to suffer, Pisco. What the fuck do you want me to say? I'll vote Democrat as long as I need to vote Democrat, and if a sane Republican emerges, I'll vote for a sane Republican, okay?
Let's take the New York election.
You are in a more electorally viable and comfortable position, which is that of a liberal in the Democratic Party who has some progressive tendencies. You're sitting fucking pretty.
Oh, really?
Dude, okay, they're not sitting pretty whatsoever, okay? All right. You've got unhinged lefties, and you got unhinged, like... Not unhinged lefties. You just got unhinged lefties, okay? And the fucking Republicans. Everyone hates the Democratic Party right now. It's not really the most comfortable position, okay?
I thought I was a communist. I thought I was a socialist.
Not only do you have a party that aligns with you ideologically, but you are in the majority within your own party. You effectively can walk around just bullying the fuck out of everybody.
How is this a response? So how is this a response? No, like, if I were in your shoes, I'd be like,
yeah, I'm not a Republican
anymore.
God wants me to suffer.
Okay,
between the two of us, God has chosen me to suffer.
And he almost killed you last week, which would have been awful.
What's that?
And he almost killed you last week.
Right.
Are they freaking out over that?
He wants me to suffer. I did something wrong in my previous life, and he is punishing me for it.
and you're punishing the whole audience with that beard. I'm just kidding. I like the beard. I like the beard. Hey, can I just be honest with you about something? So in the New York election, we have Mamdani with a huge lead.
Yeah, I would vote for Cuomo immediately.
Cuomo's a snake.
Yeah, and he's not a communist. That's pretty easy for me. Socialist, decommodification of basic human needs, workers owning the means of production, hanging out with Hassan Piker. Fuck you, I'm not voting for you. It's actually that
Wait,
simple.
what?
If you hang out,
I mean, I don't know anything about like the difference between these two people. Okay, to be fair, okay, I don't know the difference between Cuomo and Mamdani. What are their policies? What are their
with
policies?
Hassan Piker, is that enough? Like Bernie.
Yeah, that's actually unironically, that's enough.
I think you would vote for Bernie. If it were Bernie versus Trump, you wouldn't vote for Bernie?
What's that?
If it were Bernie versus Trump, you'd vote for Bernie, right?
I think I'd kill myself at the airport. Like pass.
Answer it. Don't be a prime cop.
Redbeard. You see, at Foodshops, what Connor must resort to mimic a fraction of your power.
Oh, thank you for the $5, Corey. Listen, I just think everyone should just relax a little bit, okay? Jesus. Like when I'm streaming, I'm like fucking relaxing, okay? Jesus. This is my relaxation time.
No. Lesser of two evils, you're gonna dude, I've suffered enough. Stop bullying me.
Wait, so if the choice is between Bernie and Trump, he would consider voting for Trump? Because what? Because Bernie's a leftist? Is that what I heard?
Just being mean.
Answer like Bernie.
Yeah. Socialist,
Hold on, let me
decommodification
hear
of
that
basic human
again.
needs, workers owning the means of production, hanging out with Hassan Piker. Fuck you, I'm not voting for you. It's actually that simple.
Oh.
If you hang out with Hassan Piker, is that enough? Like Bernie.
Yeah, that's actually unironically, that's enough.
I think you would vote for Bernie.
Lose the vote.
If it were Bernie versus Trump, you wouldn't vote for Bernie?
You didn't
What's
say
that?
that? I'll re-listen to it.
If it were
then.
Bernie versus Trump, you'd vote for Bernie, right?
I think I'd kill myself at the airport.
Answer it.
Like pass.
Answer it. Don't be a prime cop.
No. Lesser of two evils, you're gonna.
But how is this a good thing? But this isn't a good thing. Why would we want Counterpoints voting for Trump over Bernie? What? This should be like I would vote like this should be I would rather vote for a corpse over Trump, right? Like fuck. So communism is the red line here? I would vote for a communist over fucking Trump. Like, I don't think I'm okay with this. What?
Dude, I've suffered enough. Stop bullying me. You're just being mean.
Answer it.
You're just being mean. That's all you're
Bernie
doing.
or Trump?
You're like, hey, Connor, you're in a tough political position and everybody's kicking your dick in. I'm going to sip on my Dunkin' Donuts while I kick your dick in for the next 40 minutes and I casually laugh.
No, we're going to see here if the Burkean conservative is consistent with
Steelman conservatism versus liberalism? Why? Wait, that has nothing to do with this.
his principles about harm reduction.
Yeah, lesser of two harms. Yeah, if you could say that it was a lesser of two harms, if it was a lesser of two harms calculation.
No fucking way I would vote for a commie over Trump. But we're not just any commie. Bernie isn't even a commie. But Connor would like entertain the idea that he wouldn't vote for Bernie. What? Would you not vote for Bernie over Trump? I'm not a lefty. I fucking hate lefties.
And Bernie Sanders was clearly the lesser of two evils, then yeah, I would vote.
I'm saying if he was the lesser of two evils.
Okay, piece of shit.
Yeah, so
wait, am I dreaming right now? Fuck, I can't tell if people are gaslighting.
Everyone seems to have a Bernie exception, like a Bernie, like they're all willing to, because
we think that he's hiding his power level. We don't believe.
Why would you vote for a communist over Trump? Haven't you been watching Destiny enough? Bernie is not a communist.
The social democracy woo bullshit. We don't believe it. We don't believe it. No one who is right of Joe Biden believes that social democrats are social democrats. We all think they're socialists hiding their power level.
That's not the way I mean that there's an exception for Bernie. I think that if I presented you Mamdani versus Trump, the same exact situation, I think you would not say that you would vote for Mamdani over Trump.
I would abstain from voting. You're actually making me.
You did say communist after? Yeah, I would vote for a communist that isn't fucking Hassan over Trump. It really depends. Like, again, like, wasn't Steven's like entire fucking thing was like, oh yeah, I don't know if Hassan would be better than Trump, right? I would be 50-50 on that, right? Isn't that what like Destiny said? That he would be 50-50 on whether or not like he would vote for Hassan over Trump?
Choose between a socialist and a fascist.
There's an exceptionalism to Bernie.
Like it's just better to be more agnostic on it, no?
I would not want to be morally responsible for anything that happens after that.
Yeah, for some reason
I would
you
not want to
consider
check my box by either thing,
Yeah,
because I think that both things would end up in fucked up shit that I don't want to sign off on.
the exceptionalism that I'm pointing
Matter of
out.
fact, I'm gonna go ahead and go back and say, like, probably with Bernie too. I'm not checking my
Really?
name by that shit. Yes.
So how do we
He's a
take you
social democrat who
seriously?
hides his fucking power level.
How do we take you seriously on the 14 million?
Okay, Bernie does not. Wait, what? Bernie does not hide his power level, right? No, he said he would vote for Trump over Hassan. The only reason I would consider voting for Trump over Hassan is because Hassan is like deliberately evil. Specifically, he's evil, right?
Died from starvation and from the authoritarianism and fascism. If you're not willing to vote.
But then even then, I don't know if Hassan would be just too lazy to try to do his evil shit. He would just probably sit in the White House and stream all day, right? So I don't know if he even has the energy or the evilness to do that to do that shit. Like you're basically flipping a coin at that point. There's just no way to know from one to another. And another reason is because Hassan is a commentator, and this is just a stupid question overall. Fuck you guys. Okay, it's a stupid question overall.
For someone like Bernie
Because I'll be
over
dead.
Trump.
Because I shot myself at the airport because you gave me such a horrible choice that I decided to kill myself instead.
This is not something like absurd question. Like Bernie versus Trump has been around since 2015.
Yeah, okay, you're having too much fun. I'd like to move on to the next
All right,
topic.
we can move on.
All you've done is you've taken
made
something
me
that's
tired.
You made me
very
tired,
easy
Pisco.
to kick my dick in, and you've kicked it in for 20 minutes, and I'm tired of getting my dick kicked
all right.
in.
Hey,
I would
what
like
do
to
you
talk
want?
about
What do you
something
want?
else.
What do you want to talk about? I have some stuff as well, but you go.
I'd rather you just pick your next topic.
All right, so I want to talk about a thing that we talked about before. Again, whenever we have a conversation, I'm trying to push you a little bit. I'm trying to, get into some areas of agreement, but also areas
because
of
you want
disagreement.
to make me you, and I don't want to be you.
I'm not trying to make you me.
Yeah, you're trying to make me a liberal. You're trying to make me a normie liberal. You're trying to make me Hutch, and I don't want to be Hutch.
Hutch is
I
my
want to be
boy.
me.
But you like Hutch.
I know.
Do I not want to turn all Connors into Hutches? 100%. Hell yeah. Are you kidding me? I'll take it.
Don't you like Hutch?
Yeah, Hutch is a great guy.
What do you think about everyone going after Hutch?
I think it's great. Well, it's great for me.
Why?
It's fantastic
Why?
for me.
Why
Because
is it good for you?
I'll be real. Because a year ago, so Hutch and I had this conversation before the 24 election, right? And he calls me on and he's like, I don't understand your politics. I don't understand Burkean conservatism. I don't understand republicanism.
understand.
And then just like you, he grilled my nuts for a fucking hour about all of my politics. And then he's like, how do you feel about trans people? How do you feel about black people? How do you feel about brown people? And then I was like, yeah, like I'm chill with like Mexicans and blacks and gays and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, I think you're a progressive. And so he just like kept calling me a progressive for like 40 fucking minutes, grilling my ball sack.
Hello, base. Listen, you guys are coming after me, okay, for roasting Connor, okay? But I have the position of both Pisco and Hutch, okay? Ooh, okay.
So now all of the progressives, like fucking piranha, like the teething fucking malicious piranha that they are, coming back and chewing on Hutch's skin and him fucking throwing elbows trying to beat the shit out of all the leftists and piranha
Makes
eating
you
him.
happy?
It's perfect for me. It's perfect. I'm like, this is why I don't identify as a progressive. This is why I don't identify as a Democrat. Is because you guys
you're scared of you're scared of the implications socially. I feel this is my opinion. I'm not saying this is your opinion, but like if you had to identify the single thing that Joe Biden did that upset you the most, I don't even know what you'd pick. It'd be something dumb.
I probably would. I wouldn't. Matter of fact, this is what this is the joke that my wife and I made, was that she was like, shit, I really don't want Joe Biden because I think he's just going to go to sleep on the couch for the next 4 years. And I'm like, please God, just go to sleep on the fucking couch.
Yeah, we were
for the
able to
next
go to
4 years.
brunch for 4 years. We had brunch.
Yeah.
And now we don't have brunch
I
anymore.
love
But
brunch.
especially
I'm
not
a
DC.
brunch Republican.
But like, I think if I were to ask you like, what is the thing that
sorry,
Biden did
what?
that pissed you off the most? It'd be something like he said
it'd be something
that
like-
guns
it would be something
should be
technical.
banned.
It would be something technical. It would be something like the Inflation Reduction Act, right? That there's no stimulus that is going to be deflationary. It's just not possible, right? Now, so that's like the classic Democrats
Stimulating
say, like,
my balls.
Yeah, it was Manchin who
like-
picked the fucking name.
well, right. But
So
politicians.
blame your fucking
politicians,
conservative
right?
Democrat for that
No,
one.
but this is like the classic Democrat move. They're like,
he didn't want to.
What Dusty said is Hassan would possibly be a greater threat. Yeah, but at that point, it's just a stupid question because Hassan lives in the streamer environment. You don't know if the future would be that Hassan would be like more mask on in order to get elected because he loves clout, but then he'll be too lazy to enact changes. Or it could be the other way around. He could just straight up become Stalin, right? Because there is a 500, it's basically like an alternate universe, right? There's 100,000 timelines that you can run down where things could be worse or better, right? That's why it's a stupid question. That's why it shouldn't be asked. And the person asking the question is acting in bad faith, aka Pisco. Okay, Pisco asked that question. He was acting in bad faith at that time. Absolutely. All right. That's my position. Okay, yeah, that's it. It's just such a stupid question because there's 100,000 fucking timelines you can run down. That's it.
Call it like, Inflation Reduction Act. You want to call it Build Back Better.
Hold on. I want to make this point. They're like, we're making the anti-kicking puppies act, right? Then they fill it with like 30% good policy and 70% dog shit. And when somebody who's a critic of the bill, either a Democrat or a Republican, is like, hey, 70% of this bill is dog shit that's actually going to hurt the United States. They're like, what? You're for kicking puppies? And that's like,
there's too much risk for it to be horribly. U.S. can survive Trump. Stop. Okay, don't say the United States can survive Trump. Okay, stop. Okay, I'm getting one guide. Okay, but I could be multiple guide. Okay, but okay, pause. That sounds weird. You don't know that. He's trying to like fast forward us to fucking fascism ASAP. Okay, you don't know that. You can't bet on that either. Okay, you can't. All right, Jesus.
Classic legislative propaganda.
No, but hang on a second. So first of all, the person who wanted to make all these changes like into the name and to make it, fix quote unquote what Biden initially proposed, which would have been groundbreaking, was Joe Manchin. So if you have a problem with like the name cohering with the policy, and it's a problem of like, oh, they used the wrong name, blame Manchin. Manchin was the one who wanted to call it that. Biden wanted to call it Build Back Better.
I think the economy was overheating at that point, and we didn't need stimulus. We needed something completely different.
I guess we'll just do nothing.
He was trying to shore up. So you don't agree with increasing green energy
I don't agree
subsidies?
with stimulus during an inflationary period. No.
Well, hang on a second. So there was also a reduction in spending in the bill as well. It was like deficit neutral. It was fully costed.
Okay. That has, for me, that we're
Why'd you ban me for that? Probably because I have a good reason to ban you. Bye again, just for asking that.
we're talking about two different things because we're talking about like public versus private. The money still went out into the private sector.
Yeah, and they stopped spending on other things. And so if it's, in what sense is it heating up inflation if it's deficit neutral in terms of public spending?
Okay, so I would have to look at the technocratic aspects. If you're okay, so if I'm hearing your argument, okay, let's say we have something that would be inflationary, like we're given $1 billion for people to be able to buy EVs or some shit. I don't fucking know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then we take that out of the bill because we don't want to do direct stimulus. And instead, we change it to, instead of spending $1 billion on like EV credits, we're giving people the child tax credit so people can afford to feed their families.
Yeah, I'm sure if you analyze it, maybe those two different things have different inflationary effects.
They're going to have different inflationary effects because you're getting money to where it's needed instead of money where it's not needed.
Right, but we don't know that, like, increasing tax enforcement and taking money out of people, like as you sit here, just knowing that they're spending money in some areas and reducing spending in other areas, we don't have enough information to know it's going to be inflationary. That's what I mean. Is you need more information.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
Listen, I'll take that. I'll take that. 70% of my political coverage is reading the headlines and the articles and then covering dramas and debates.
Why do you cover the drama? Do you enjoy the drama? I mean, that's the shit. I'm trying to really push away.
React harder. What I'm going to do is I'm going to listen, Weeblo, I love you. I'm only going to time you out for 30 minutes, okay?
Way the drama, and like it is so toxic.
I don't know why. For me, it's fun.
Listen, when I speak, it's because I have a reason to speak, okay? You're forcing me to speak on something that I currently don't have a good reaction for right now, okay? So I can only sit here and make faces. Thank you.
It's not fun. It's super, like, there was a civil war in my Discord, and I don't want to get into it. I just want to be clear about it, but like I just don't understand, like, the drama stuff is not helpful towards the ultimate project. It's destructive.
Well, this is my are you
the drama stuff is relevant. Like the drama and politics is like intertwined, okay, at this point. Because you can justify any like kind of like fight against a genocide. So you can justify any kind of drama related action, right? You can justify CPS calls, you can justify crazy shit. Drama and politics is intertwined at this point, but yeah.
Okay if we just kind of talk about everything openly?
No, hang on, let me think.
I'll use sanitized language that doesn't involve people's names. I agree with you. And I think that drama can be a decent marketing tool. Okay. Like, this personality is fighting this personality.
I don't know about this argument. Again, it's very simple, okay? Because you think that there is a genocide going on in Gaza, you can justify heinous actions that are typically drama related in order to like go against the genocide, right? That's it. Stuff like
right?
that.
Like that's how you get people into the chat, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not breaking down the ideological differences and the actual like fundamental like the differences in perspective and difference in ideology and the difference in economics and the difference in technology, if you're not breaking down those deeper things, then I think you're actually like hurting more than you're helping. And not just that, if you're personally involved in the drama, where your involvement in any kind of political project is going to be a detriment because you're so toxic yourself, then you're hurting your stated goals.
Please don't mention me. 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 Okay, Connor, go.
I mean, I think that analysis is apt.
Very
like,
bland,
I agree
but
that
very
like
true.
there's some things that can add a dramatic element to it for sure. But the stuff that I just can't imagine why it would be useful. And this is also, by the way, a commentary on, and maybe back to our debate on like the liberals attacking the left for doxing scandals and for this or that, right? Like, to me, the concentration on those interpersonal conflicts, it's what good comes of it for me. Like, if I were to cover, so for example, there was this Hassan thing, right, where Hassan and Bad Empanada and people are messaging me about it, and I was like, why should I cover that? Why is it a good idea to cover it? What do I get out of it, and what does the discourse, to the extent that I have an effect on it, get out of me covering that? So walk me through that one. Like, okay, Hassan's a bad dude, Bad Empanada's a bad dude. Why should I cover that? Or do you think I should?
You
probably shouldn't.
Yes.
I will. And the reason why I'm going to cover it is because I do have this narrative that I'm running with, which is effectively that there are moderates and disaffected Republicans who see the same thing that I see, that the Republican Party has totally betrayed all of its values and virtues. And that if the Democratic Party was to moderate and appeal to these voters, you have to give them some time because they're going to have whiplash from like the early 20s and the late 10s. But if you gave them TLC, love and care, hugs, maybe a pudding, chocolate pudding and a warm blanket, they might be amenable to supporting some Democratic politicians and some Democratic policies. However, when you cozy up to, like, for instance, you were grilling me earlier about Bernie Sanders and Zoran Mandami and all that kind of stuff. When you cozy up to socialists or communists, this is antithetical to recruiting those moderates. And so for me, the reason why I choose to cover leftist acting.
No, nah, it's not worth the time to appeal to moderates either. Dude, fuck that shit. Dude, oh my god. Oh, this is cancer discourse. This is cancer discourse. This is cancer discourse. It is the most useful use of your time is to get people who are already Democrats, who has voted Democrats before, who are liberals, who have not voted, to go and vote, okay? We have the numbers already. We just need to get enough people out there to vote, okay? Republicans, listen, the moderates at this point who define themselves as moderates or whatever, who hasn't voted for Kamala Harris, the last election, listen, they're it's hopeless, okay? It's hopeless. It's just, I don't know what else to say, okay? It's just fucking hopeless, okay? Trust me. It's like talking to a brick wall, all right? The same thing with lefties, okay? It's just, listen, you just need to be solidly neoliberal. Solidly liberal, okay? Solid liberal. Solid liberal. Turn out the base. Exactly. So, as much as I love Tally bots in my chat, okay? She voted for Trump. Wrong move. You're a retard. You should have voted for Kamala Harris, okay? I am not going to appeal to you, all right?
Like pernicious, parasitic, manipulative, fantasizing about violence, fantasizing about taking over the Democratic Party. The reason why I'm doing it is because I want to alienate leftists from liberals, because the leftists are completely ideologically opposed to everything. So you're admitting
you're doing it kind of to stick a wedge,
drive a wedge between liberals and leftists? Absolutely.
But isn't that the whole reason that you're mad at leftists? Or not your reason, but there's one reason that some liberals give for why they are mad at leftists, maybe not you, which is they're driving a wedge between the Democratic Party and the content creator, or they're driving a wedge intentionally. They're really trying to hurt the effort here. But you're self-admitting that's what you're trying to do, in the sense of you are trying to create a finer distinction between lefty content creators and liberals, and antagonize and spur on controversy between them.
Because I view leftists the same way that you and I both view MAGA. MAGA was cute and funny and a joke a decade ago. And when Trump won, it was a shit post. And half of the people voting for him didn't even think that he was going to achieve it.
Stop. Okay, no. Wrong opinion, Connor. I'm sorry. The moderates. Okay, you try. Go. Okay, you know what? Counterpoints. Okay, go, and try and convince Tallybots to vote for a left-leaning person because she can't even say yes to that. Just try to convince her. Go. Try to convince Tally to go and vote for a liberal next election. Jesus, because I don't even think that's possible. It's so crazy.
Anything, they did it as a joke and a middle finger to the federal government because the federal government has fucked so much shit up over the history of the United States, and then it became serious, and then it became a cult, and then and fascism had, like, I actually mean it, political corporatism and flexible authoritarianism has destroyed my previous political home. And so what I worry about is that you guys, and I've said this to your face before, I worry that you guys cozying up to these same motherfuckers, yeah, they're not as politically relevant. Yeah, they're statistically an infinitely smaller slice of the Democratic base, but they're very loud.
Sure, that's a problem. Like the socialists who mask on as Democrats are a problem, but like, then you just fight them too. You turn out your base.
They energize the opposite side, and if they were big enough, they would fucking kill you and take over your party if they could.
Okay, but I'm getting this from someone who doesn't know if they would vote for Trump or Sanders, or someone who doesn't know if they would vote for JD Vance or Gavin Newsom, depending on what they would say.
Yeah, because you don't think Bernie Sanders is dangerous. You think he's cute.
I think that he's an honorable guy.
You think he's a doddering old man.
I think he's an honorable guy. I think that he just wants to give you healthcare, dude.
No. So the history of Bernard Sanders is that through the he's been in politics a long time.
Oh, boy.
So he was an activist in the 60s to the 80s. He was hanging out in leftist circles. He swept for the Soviet Union and for Cuba when Cuba nearly annihilated us from a nuclear standpoint, and when the Soviet Union was an evil empire. Then he
was acting politically. He probably thought that was the most efficacious, like, because when you operate in a politician environment, you're going to operate differently than you would in a social media content creator environment, right? Because as a content creator, you can stick by your beliefs and be completely like down the line. All of my beliefs are consistent this entire time, right? But the thing is that like maybe at the time he was trying to present himself as that to the base because of some political reason or whatever, right? Like it's not the same. It's just not the same. That's not how it works. But yeah, I don't know. It's just.
Also, I think he did like a Noam Chomsky level of like Serbian history revisionism. I don't think he's as bad as Noam Chomsky, but I'm pretty sure that he was like.
Okay, but what are his policies at the time? Can you name one? I mean, this is fine and dandy. He did sweeping. Oh no, but like, what are his? Well, the reason why I shit on Noam Chomsky is because he denies the Bosnian genocide. But if Noam Chomsky was a politician and he actually had policies that were good and I would support implementing, I would vote for Noam Chomsky. Yes, I would. I shit on Noam Chomsky because he denies the Bosnian genocide. But if he has like the policies that I want to be supported, I would vote for Noam Chomsky. I would. Problem?
Making some Serbian sympathetic arguments in the 1990s. Then he kind of realized that the decommodification of basic human needs and workers owning the means of production was not a viable political route where anybody besides his local constituency would support him. And so he shifted to social democracy. And so you could argue that maybe since the thousands he's been a social democrat.
The
but
thousands?
I think that he still
the 2000s. My bad.
Yeah. You could make the argument that he's been effectively a social democrat for the past 2 decades. But I think in his heart of hearts.
So are Republican senators forgiven? Yeah. Yes. If they denounce Trump afterwards and they implement policies that I want to implement, I'll probably still be against them. Just mainly because they'll be pro-life and shit and whatever, right? Yeah. But I'll be against them based off of policy. I wouldn't be against them because they once supported Trump, right? Obviously.
That's only because he knows that America is not ready for socialism. And so he's trying to be an incrementalist.
Do you not think that denying genocide implies a whole bunch of shit? Yeah, but we're talking about a hypothetical here where he denies the genocide, but he is willing to implement the policies that I want implemented, right? If he denies the genocide and then the policies are downstream from his darker beliefs, then I don't want that shit, probably, most likely. Like, he probably believes in, I don't know, some fucking fucky USSR shit. I'm not gonna do that. Who cares about that? It's just like, whatever. Yeah.
and toil the fertile. He's trying to like till the soil to make it fertile for socialists.
So you think
Yeah,
he's,
also, what
he's,
does
he's a
forgiveness
Castro
mean?
guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you're willing to abide by quote unquote sweeping for
There's no such thing as forgiving in the realm of politics, okay? This word does not exist in the social consciousness, okay? But Connor's arguing that you can't have the world where he only implements the policies you want. He's going to bring in all the other shit. That's fine. I'm just going to be against Connor based off of policy then. It's really simple as that. Because at the end of the day, even if Trump never existed, I would still be against Republican policy.
Trump, but not sweeping for Castro 50 years ago?
Like, what the fuck?
That's so wild.
Who said that I was willing to abide by?
Because you said that you would vote for
Trump?
like Nikki Haley, JD Vance type if they became your perfect
Yeah,
conservative.
if he was my perfect political candidate. Bernard Sanders is not my perfect political candidate.
So the baggage of having supported a fascist is not weighing down JD Vance enough for you to categorically.
I feel like you could understand this if you wanted to. You're saying that so liberals, we probably agree on 60 to 70% of shit, right? But
He used the word liberals and then he said we. Got him.
we viciously disagree on 30
I
to 40%.
don't even know what we
of shit.
disagree on. What do you think you and I disagree on?
Well, actually, one of the funny things that what my chat brought up that they wanted us to fight about was gun control. What's your perfect gun policy?
I don't know. I'm not an expert here. I think
Then you're a pro-gun liberal. Wow, congratulations, Connor. You should have figured this shit out like years ago. Then you're a pro-gun liberal. Like,
that in general.
Feels like an evasion.
So in general, I'm not super convinced that like gun buyback programs are viable in America. I'm not convinced. If you were to ask me, independent of the Second Amendment, right, what my ideal
you'll be like Steven. You'll be the gnome. You're not a gnelf. You're not a gnoblin. You're a gnome. Hey, you've been gnomed. This is who you are. Okay.
strategy would be, at time
You're a
equals zero. If
gnome.
we could just
I get it. Okay. You want to be friends with Steven, and you don't want to be interpreted as the gnome. Hold on. You're this.
Hello, old chum. I'm not a elf. I'm not a goblin. I'm a gnome, and you've been no.
Okay, yeah. Dude. Yeah, anyway. That's what I'm talking about. Tiny folded to the Darius threats? No, he didn't fold to any threats. What? No. He fucking raided me today. He raided me tonight. That was after like 2 days of not raiding me.
prevent guns from being in the hands of as many millions as have them, that's probably better. But we don't have to live in reality.
What if you're dictator? What if you're dictator for a day?
If I'm dictator for a day,
dictator for a day, you're Pisco Trump president day one. You have 24 hours to enact your perfect legislation,
and it would have staying power, and it wouldn't have opposition in terms of.
And you don't have to care about the Second Amendment as written. You can rewrite it. Sorry, 1 second, my wife. What's up? Oh, thank you, baby. Yeah. So
it wouldn't engender resistance.
Rewrite the Constitution.
And
what would you rewrite the?
It's because I saw Darius at the top of DGG. Sorry. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. Like, what the fuck?
Second Amendment 2.
And it wouldn't engender resistance from the populace, and I would be able to
They'll accept it.
They'll accept whatever I say. I would say if I had ultimate authority on that version,
I just don't get why everyone wants a fucking popularity contest when it comes to Destiny. I'm just gonna sit here and do my own content. Jesus, it's so obnoxious. Like, what the fuck? Can you imagine trying to fight for Destiny's approval every day? Oh my god. Give me a break. If Destiny wants to come in here, he can. If he doesn't want to come here, he won't.
I would say that every individual
I know.
needs to have,
That's the
which is not
bigger
the case
raid, by the
currently,
way.
a permit across the country to have a gun. I would be okay with him having a right to possess guns, but to just have a higher standard for achieving a permit in terms of training. That's
okay.
it.
What about
Again, I'm not an
assault
expert here. I
weapons
don't feel
or semi-automatic rifles and shotguns with a high magazine capacity?
I'm not sure what my ideal policy is on that. I'm not offended by the notion of banning certain types of weapons, right? I mean, I don't think you are either. Like, I'm pretty sure you'd be okay with banning like grenade launchers, banning grenades, banning fully automatic guns, correct? You think that grenade
Maybe if you gave him the perms. I did get Destiny the perms. He dropped in last time because of the perms.
and fully automatic guns should be legal?
So I actually like the current system. So with the current
That's
system,
convenient.
Well, no, I mean, I genuinely think it splices a decent level of responsibility and liberty, which is one of the things that I get frustrated with everybody because they focus on liberty, but they never focus on responsibility. When it comes to fully automatic weapons, when it comes to grenade launchers, when it comes to destructive devices, right now they're regulated by the ATF. If you want to create a destructive device or a fully automatic machine gun, you have to go through a super rigorous background check. And not only do you have to go through a super rigorous background check, you also have to register the CO number. You have to keep it in inventory constantly. If that weapon disappears, you are liable for it, and you have to report it immediately to the ATF. And basically, like, if you create a machine gun or a destructive device and it gets into civilian hands, like, you will lose your privilege of owning said class of weapon.
So the current system of regulation doesn't infringe on your notion of liberty with respect to guns? The current setup?
Yeah.
Oh, engaging? I feel like engaging in this like line of argumentation is a trap, okay? Because it doesn't really matter. You can be a liberal that supports gun rights. You can be a liberal that like greatly supports gun rights. It's just generally your policies line up with a gun rights supporting liberal. Like that's literally it.
Yeah. I think that I hate to say this because this isn't Second Amendment enough for the conservatarians in my audience, but yeah, I think the system as it currently exists,
you're gay
strikes a good
and
balance
progressive
between
and a
rights,
liberal.
privileges, and duties. I think the thing that's missing is education and emergency risk protection orders.
Well, I just find it funny because you were grilling me the other months ago when you weren't sure you were going to vote for Kamala at that moment for like the ban on quote unquote assault rifles, as though that would be a step too far. But there's already a great deal of regulations on all sorts of. Okay, but then we're just talking about a question of degree, not of kind, and the kind of threat that Kamala would represent if you were able to even implement the ban on assault weapons, whatever that means, right? And you had I think a decent point, and so do gun enthusiasts have a decent point on like even defining the scope of what an assault weapon is sometimes like an exercise in futility.
Well, we also have a legalistic and an appeal to history here as well, which is effectively like I read. Oh man, I'm a terrible political creator. I read Federalist 29 and 46 within the month. Like I've read 29 before, but I reread them with the new lens of my Democratic friends insisting that firearms are they're within the context of service in a militia, right? You know that's like the generally speaking. But what's so funny about 29 and 46 is that there's arguments about whether or not even a militia poses a threat to liberty.
Some nerd shit.
And then there's arguments about like effectively what would happen is, based off of the interpretation of the amendment, we should technically ban handguns. Like we should ban like
I like, to be fair, aren't handguns like the most responsible for suicides or something? Or it's like most gun deaths like happen due to handguns, not like due to like semi-automatic rifles or something.
Dealable private civilian firearms.
That's how you interpret the Second Amendment?
I mean, because like 99% of militia service is going to be with a rifle or a shotgun. It's going to be with like a large weapon, right? Because the militia is not supposed to serve a law enforcement context. It's supposed to serve the nation in a time of crisis during like rebellion or invasion.
Okay, I find this totally bizarre. I mean, like, so your interpretation of the Second Amendment is in line with like liberals and left-wing people who say it's kind of a militia-based right, that even if there is an individual component to it.
If you haven't read 29 and 46 recently, it's actually really fucking funny. It's like deeply ironic.
But therefore, you think that Heller was wrongly decided, at least in terms of outcome. Hang on, I'll explain why. So you agree that there's an individual right to have and possess weapons. I'm not saying that you don't believe that.
Is Heller?
But even though you have a different rationale to how to get to that outcome, you do think that
I hate gun shit. Gun laws boring. Gun laws boring. Legislation boring. Me stupid. Me retarded. I don't like interpretation of laws. Interpretation of laws is gay. Okay.
Pisco just said that. And somebody else is the judge, and Pisco says, fuck handguns. They're responsible for 99% of homicides. They don't serve a military purpose. They don't serve a militia purpose. This is clearly outside the scope of 29 and 46. Therefore, handguns should be banned. Okay, Pisco just said that. What I would counter is that sidearms, like pistols, are actually very common in the military. They're common in the officer class. They're common as backups. They're common in tank crews. And as a result, pistol proficiency for the non-commissioned corps and for the officer class is actually a part of like military skills and militia-based skills. Therefore, pistols should be allowed. End of argument.
So is your final argument or your final position that the Second Amendment protects handguns or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does, but I still think that you would, if we were in a race to win the favor of a judge, I think it would be a competitive fight based off of this logic.
Well, not anymore.
Well, not anymore, but I still think it would be like, let's say we time travel to the day before DC versus Heller and we have this exact line of argumentation in court. I actually think it would be like a 51-49 decision on whether or not pistols got banned for civilian use in the United States of America.
I think they did address this in and Heller. Let me hang on. You say something. 'Cause
I'm sure
Oh my God, Heller, Keller, Seller. Who cares?
I'm sure they do.
Okay.
They're construing. Just give me a second, real quick. So clearly demonstrates the weaknesses of Justice Stevens' case. Miller said in a different case did not hold.
Oh my God.
Something that's. I want to tell you.
I do not care about gun talk.
Ironically, it's in my opinion, the reason why this game that MAGA is playing is so dangerous is because it resides in the power of the majority. So, and not just the majority, because technically you can have like a more populist majority who is oppressed by a more forceful minority. But the fundamental principle that undergirds this entire thing is force. And so that's where, for me, Joe Biden or Kamala Harris misunderstanding the Second Amendment and willfully pushing policy that perverts Federal 29 and Federal 46. This isn't an arbitrary issue. This is like the underlying power structure of human relations. They misunderstand humanity.
I think it's a little bit much just because they want to ban some guns. They misunderstand humanity. But I want to.
No, I genuinely don't. I genuinely disagree.
Why cover policy if you don't care about politics? Because politics and drama is interlinked. And I know a little bit about politics to comment on it, okay? I just don't care about Heller. Jesus.
I'm conscious of your time. I know that you closed out at 2, and I have another engagement I have to do in a second, but I wanted to close out with 2 different questions for you. The first is, name a single thing that Trump has done in the second term that you like. Can you name one?
What has Trump done that I like? I think you're going to hate this, but give me a little bit of latitude. Securing the border, okay? Now, doing that by executive fiat, doing that by torturing people, doing that by deporting them, all that's evil shit.
But that's how he's doing it, Connor. That's one of the main ways in which he's doing it is doing illegal and fucked up shit.
You asked me policy. Yeah, policy can be both effect and cause. I'm criticizing cause while lauding effect.
Oh, but you would never say this like, oh yeah, he's got gun crime down, and what they did to get gun crime down is they arrested everyone who owns guns. Like, you wouldn't be like, oh, well, I agree with the policy of getting gun crime down. And you know how they did it? It's just by arresting all the gun owners. Like, you would never grant that. You'd be like, that's crazy. Yeah,
You're right.
All right, so then are you going to take it back? Take it back, motherfucker. Take it back.
No, I'm not taking it back.
Why not? You're so proud sometimes. Just take it back. Because it's a stupid thing to say.
Really?
Yes, it is dumb to be like, what are we talking about? We're talking about pedal. Kettle.
You are a kettle.
How am I a kettle?
Calling the pot black.
How am I hypocritical?
So proud sometimes. You are so proud sometimes. You are so obstinate sometimes. You are so stubborn.
True.
Sometimes
you accepted the parallelism. No, you accepted the hypothetical that it would be ridiculous, preposterous to say, well, they got gun crime down. I agree with that policy. If the way he did it was so perverse and illegal and contrary to rights, you would never grant that, and you just won't grant it in your case of the border security because of pride. That seems to be what it is.
Okay, so I'm going to ignore what you said because it's funnier to do that. So
you just got fucking owned. You just got owned, and you have nothing to say.
That's a Fabian tactic, and I got to say,
it's a Fabian tactic.
And I got to say, it's my least favorite tactic. My least favorite.
Pisco's a retard. No, Pisco's a retard, but he's smarter than Counter for sure. 100%, 100% out, 100% of the time. Okay, I'm sorry, but Counter is just listen. He sure reads a lot, I guess.
Favorite tactic is making an
declaring
argument
victory,
and then declaring victory. It's
but I'm giving you the opportunity to address it.
If you had a good enough of a point, you wouldn't need to declare victory. You would just let your point.
You just said I don't want to address it because it's funnier when I don't.
Well,
I don't know what kind of tactic that is. Or Fabian does that.
It's because I was reading chat. Do you want to repeat what you said?
So you don't even listen. 80% of the time, you're not even listening. So what I said was
bullshit.
You wouldn't give credit to someone.
You complimented me earlier in the conversation for being one of the few people that you can talk to who you feel actually pays attention and listens to the content of what's being
20% of the time,
said.
and that's very impressive. 20% of the time, 80%. That is impressive. That's above the average. But I do want to
condescending.
No,
because you know this is funny. You know this is funny. That's why
this is not a joke to me. My country's not joking to me. So here's the example, right? The example is. Are you listening or are you just watching super chats? I'm
listening.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not going to look at chat. I'm staring right at you.
You wouldn't have given credit to Trump if he was reducing crime by like throwing a bunch of people in prison without due process, right? Yeah. And you wouldn't give credit if someone's like, "Oh, we got gun crime down because we're arresting all the gun owners." Similarly, why would you give credit for a secure border if one of the major ways he's securing the border, quote unquote, securing the border,
dumbest way possible?
It's in illegal and rights depriving ways.
Because this is my beef, and I think this complexifies the argument, Mr. I need to declare victory. Mm-hmm. Is that I view Democrats and I view the status quo, quote unquote, uniparty deep state, whatever bullshit you want to fucking assign it. I view them as
Wait,
making
okay.
Trump's actions inevitable. Okay.
Start playing Warhammer Mechanicus. Dude, I started playing a Warhammer game and I noticed that there's literally no fucking female, like fucking soldiers. And I got pissed. I was like, dude, fuck this shit. This game is sexist as fuck. So I stopped playing, okay? That's how I treat all Warhammer content. You're welcome.
You could say the same thing about my example. Yeah, the left in their pro-crime ways, they made the guy who's arresting everyone without due process inevitable. That's what they say about Bukele.
Yep.
So you're going to accept that you would give credit to someone bringing crime down in America by just arresting people?
I give Bukele credit despite being an authoritarian dickbag.
Even
Why?
in America where there is a rule of law?
Why?
What's that?
Even understand that Bukele is in a different context in El Salvador, and America has a foundational structure here which isn't complete anarchy from gangs.
You're asking a pointed question and you're acting like there's some level of hypocrisy and there isn't. You said, what policy do you appreciate about the Trump presidency or some shit like that? The policy is not just how or means, it's also effect, right? So what I would say is I can appreciate the effect while decrying the policy. And I actually think this is really, I think the Trump short-term gain on a secure border is actually setting up an even more toxic dynamic than what was possible before.
He's not negative on the border security, even on border security, by the way.
It probably is, because what's going to happen, because as far as I know, yeah, he beefed up ICE. Yes, he got a border bill passed. Yes, but majority of his actions or whatever are cruelty administered through executive action. And a majority of that cruelty is going to
Some of the most powerful characters in Warhammer are broken shit. Yeah, but I don't get to roleplay as them or play as them. It's not fun. It's like, oh, one of the most powerful Warhammer characters is called Mother of Matriarch, Goddess of Chaos. And then it's oh, well, I guess, but then if you play as the soldier who's fighting against the powerful gods of shit, I guess they're all male, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, give me a break. It's so boring. It's so boring. Oh my God.
to be reversed with the next administration, regardless of whether or not it's Democratic or Republican. And then not just that, even a Republican, if we have price shocks to agriculture and construction, we're going to return to the status quo of loose, porous border, tolerating mass undocumented immigration, because that will be preferable to the authoritarian dictates of Donald Trump. But I view this as something that you can go back to interviews of George Bush in 2003, 2004,
okay, Jesus.
talking about how Congress keeps kicking the can down the road for border security and how it's imperative that we act to secure the border in order to make sure that people who are coming into our country are vetted and appropriate for our economy and culture. We've been talking about this problem for 20 or 30 fucking years. So you can be mad that Trump is an authoritarian fucking dickbag who's doing this thing in all the wrong way. But
so you would condemn his border policies, right?
I view the inefficacy of the Republican government as being responsible for Trump being able to do this in the first place.
Okay, fine, but do you condemn his border policies?
In means, absolutely.
Well, I mean, how do you get the Trump results without his means? How can you just that's what I mean. It's like saying, oh yeah,
physically securing the border. You guys gave me so much shit. You gave me so much, but how much, riddle me this.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Declares Victory. How much did they spend on upgrading ICE and securing the border in this most recent bill?
Something like $40 billion for ICE.
$40 billion. How much was Trump's original dumbass fucking border wall going to cost?
It depends at different times. They gave him way more than what I forget the amount that they got for border wall. The figure I'm giving you is not the figure for the border wall. Border wall funding.
It's either 21 or 6.
Okay, the border wall includes $46 billion for construction, and initially the debate in the first term was between 5 and 10 or something like that, if I recall correctly.
Right, but I remember it as 6, but it could have been 21. I'll put 21 at the high number. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would say is that through Biden's kicking the can of immigration down to the last fucking year, and then trying to pass a bill at the last second as a symbol.
Wait, that was really bad.
Of caring about border security.
But that's
what enabled Trump to win.
I'm not asking what enabled him.
Nobody enabled Trump to do shit. Trump was probably going to do crazy shit anyway, you fucking moron. You absolute fucking retard inbred. Trump was going to do that regardless or not. Biden slipped on anything. Do you see why I fucking hate Connor? No, I don't hate Connor. Listen, do you see why I find Connor to be retarded?
Asking, what do you say?
He thinks everyone acts like a predictable human being, but Trump isn't human. He's a demon. Okay, anyway.
support. And so, like, okay, yeah, you can give a descriptive
I
reality
support securing the fucking border.
Okay, but not through those means.
Like, this is so
Correct.
You don't support his
retarded.
border policies. It would be like
Correct.
saying, I support, like your son cheats on a test and he's found out and he got an A because he cheated. Be like, well, I don't support
I
the
support my
means.
son getting A's.
But you're like, do you support his academic policies? You'd be like, yeah, he got an A.
No, never. You know.
So I got your ass. So I got your ass.
I don't think you. I don't think
So
you
I
got,
got
shit.
your ass.
I don't think you got shit. But
know
that's
what?
fine.
Okay, last question, and then I have to bounce. But this is, I think, relevant as
Sorry, I wasn't hearing.
and he got an A policies. It would be like
Correct.
saying, I support like your son cheats on a test and he's found out and he got an A because he cheated. Be like, well, I don't support
I
the
support my
means.
son getting A's.
But you're like, do you support his academic policies? You'd be like, yeah, he got an A.
No, never. You know.
So I got your ass. So I got your ass.
I don't think you. I don't
So
think you
I
got
got your
shit.
ass.
Oh,
I don't think you got shit. But that's fine.
Okay, last question, and then I have to bounce. But this is, I think, relevant as in the closet Democrat. Who do you want to come out of the nomination fight in 2028?
Funnily enough, I think as a racist Republican Democrat, I think you need Newsom.
How did I know you were going to say that?
because you orbit Steven. Got him. Why? Because you orbit Steven. Boom. Winning argument. Okay. Bro. Pisco won here. I'm pretty sure he won, like, at multiple parts, right? Like, I'm pretty sure Pisco won. Dude, he was just getting layups, okay? He's relaxed. Look at him. He's just a blob. Why did I call him a blob? Sorry.
Because he's white, straight, male.
Jesus, was he on crack?
He
or
could
what?
pretend to be Christian. He has a blonde wife. He has 4 white kids.
Really?
He
That
went
is
on with
factoring
Sean
in what
Ryan.
because he has a white family. That's what you want. Because
Before I think about Warhammer. Warhammer is retarded. Warhammer is retarded. Warhammer is overrated. It's retarded. People defend it too much, okay? Okay.
he's not.
No, I think that's
a
what's
minority.
needed. Because they're not. Because the rest of the world, as a closeted Democrat, the rest of the world is not as progressive as I am. I like. I
So
like
you want a
Pete
white
Buttigieg.
candidate. So one of your factors going into the election
White
is
male
we
and
want a
straight.
white male who's straight and has a cute
A
family.
straight white male. It has to be.
Okay.
If you go with Pete Buttigieg, who, by the way, I like Pete Buttigieg. I admire Pete Buttigieg. But if you go with Pete Buttigieg,
I mean, I can name, like, okay, Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg, and Hunter Biden. Yeah, fuck it. It's just like, why not? These people seem pretty based. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I might actually go with them for fucking nomination. Shit. Yeah.
you're going to lose because he's gay. If you go with Josh Shapiro, you're going to lose because he's Jewish. If you go with
Wow.
Kamala Harris, you're going to lose because he's a woman.
So you think America's
he's
racist,
a woman.
anti-Semitic, and sexist?
Go on Twitter and tell me I'm wrong.
You sound like a lefty every day.
well, hold on.
Oh!
You've done.
Want a white candidate. So one of your factors going into the election is
male
we
and
want a
straight.
white
Who, by
man.
not because the rest of the world, as a closeted Democrat, the rest of the world is not as progressive as I am.
Fix your compression. Fine. Hold on. Okay. But now you can hear the fucking air noise. Okay. Okay, you can hear that now, right? Listen, okay? We can't hear anything when you scream. Okay, it should be fixed now. Okay, Jesus. Nope. Oh my god. You need to raise your peak. Now we can. Okay, thank God. All right, here we go.
I like people.
Bro, this moment. Holy fuck. Bro, this is the biggest fucking debate blowout I've ever seen. Holy moly. Holy cum.
So you want a white candidate. So one of your factors going into the election is
male
we
and
want a
straight.
white male.
Okay, you can hear that, right? Like when I said that?
Who's straight.
Still peaks. Okay. What? Do I need to move away from the fucking mic or what? It's a
And has a cute
A
family.
straight white male. It has to be.
Okay.
If you go with Pete Buttigieg, who, by the way, I like Pete Buttigieg. I admire Pete Buttigieg. But if you go with Pete Buttigieg, you're going to lose because he's gay. If you go with Josh Shapiro, you're going to lose
Okay, so it acknowledges that America is homophobic. Okay. Liberal point 1.
because he's Jewish. If you go with
Okay, acknowledges that America is anti-Semitic. Jewish point 2.
Kamala Harris, you're going to lose because he's a woman.
So you think America's racist,
Because of woman and sexist.
anti-Semitic, and sexist?
Go on Twitter and tell me I'm wrong.
You sound like a lefty every day.
Oh my god! That was beautiful. I'm in tears over how beautiful that was. Oh no, Connor. Connor, you're getting destroyed. Connor, unplug the internet. Kidding. Bro. Just, by the way, this is just FYI, okay? This is a liberal thing, okay? This is not a lefty. This is not a lefty thing. This is not a conservative. Do you know what conservatives would say? Conservatives would say, okay, no, homophobia and the shit doesn't exist because you know, it's an illusion. It doesn't exist, right? That's what conservatives would say, right? Like, especially MAGA Trump Republicans, right? They say, no, we're not actually, you know, it's actually the liberals that are racist against themselves, right? Black on black, whatever, right? Meanwhile, do you know what the lefties say? The lefties say, okay, well, no, racism and sexism isn't actually a thing because of class reductionism, okay? Because we reduce everything down to a class. Everything is an illusion. It's because there are discrepancies in how much money you have, right? Whew. Oh yeah. So you have like these two parts like fucking blocked out, right? Okay. The only part that's left is liberal. Okay? It's the liberals that believe in this. Oh my god, Connor, you're a liberal! You're a fucking liberal! Okay.
Well, hold on. All you've done is you've accused me of being bigoted or believing in the bigotry of others. But
and now you're saying you're embracing the mantle. You're saying you're embracing the mantle. You're saying
I won. I got the dub because I'm right. Because America is anti-Semitic, racist, and sexist, and Pisco won't admit that because it's bad optics.
Okay, Counterpoints. This was a wonderful conversation. I hope you feel better. Get your son a donut, man. I mean, like, what's going on? You really need to
you have
let him.
Your liberal guilt has guilted me so bad that I'm going to check in with the wife and see if I can get him a donut for when he comes home from school.
Lovely.
And I'll apologize.
He'll always remember it.
For yelling at him and trying to instill some discipline.
You should be sad that your mom's in the hospital. You shouldn't be thinking about donuts.
Yeah, you fucking selfish dick.
Wait, what the fuck do I don't wait, okay, that was does Pisco know who Connor's son is? Is that why he brought up his son? Otherwise, yeah, that's kind of weird.
No, hey, hope you feel better. This was great, and talk again soon, okay?
Okay, cool. Well, and then just checking in real quick. I know that's the perfect. Cut the VOD off there. I and you have obviously ended up on different levels of the drama fence.
Yeah.
Would you? I understand that I am potentially, through vicariousness, a liability from a dramatic standpoint. Would you like to commit to a weekly show, or would you like to just play it by ear based off of the way the ground is?
Listen, Connor, I would love nothing more than to do this kind of content. I think it's fun. I think people love it, that kind of shit. I just don't want to do drama. That's all I would ask is like, I don't enjoy the drama stuff. It makes me feel bad. I think it distracts from the message. It disunifies my Discord. And anytime that like...
Oh, but I love the drama stuff though. The Goose. I have to pick between Foodshops and Darius. Did you know that you don't have to? Did you know that you can watch a movie? Did you know you don't have to be online all the time? Whoa, what? That's crazy.
It's being spent.
What?
It's one of the reasons why I hated the discourse we were doing with the whole like communist stuff in the back. Like I have, but the thing is, I interact with all sorts of different people, but I don't want to interact about drama. That's the one thing I would ask.
Okay. Then what I'll say is I will reach out to you on an approximately weekly basis or whatever.
Sure.
And if I'm covered in slime and sludge and shit from a recent drama thing and it might rub off on you, then we'll take that week off. But if we're both vibing and we're having a good time and we're talking about politics and all that kind of stuff, then yes, I would love to do this as close to weekly as possible.
Let me know, brother.
Okay. Appreciate
it. Peace out.
You know what? I'd totally be down for a show like this. Okay? I'd totally be down. Listen to me, okay? I dislike some motherfuckers. Okay? I dislike some motherfuckers. Okay? All right? But I think that, listen, I'm pro-content. Okay? I'm pro-content. Ultimately, I'm pro-content. I'm not anti-X. I'm not anti-Y. Okay? I'm pro-content. Okay? But it's also kind of funny that Connor says like, oh yeah, I'm a fucking prude. Well, guess what, Connor? I'm also a prude, okay? Oh yeah, I'm a sex repulsed. I'm a sex repulsed. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I fit all of these. I'm everything you say and more, if anything, okay? So it's just kind of funny that like, yeah, it's just cringe.